You've been lied to about skincare. While everyone's chasing expensive creams and invasive treatments, the ocean has been hiding a secret, one that's been washing up on shores for centuries, ignored. What if I told you the key to younger-looking skin is not in a lab, but in something most people step over at the beach? 1. The skincare industry does not want you to know this. Walk into any store, and you'll see shelves packed with products promising miracles. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Many of those creams are just fancy packaging with the same basic ingredients. Worse, some contain synthetic additives that do more harm than good over time. Have you ever noticed your skin reacting badly to a revolutionary product? You're not alone. The skincare industry thrives on making you believe you need their latest breakthrough to have beautiful skin. But here's what they will not admit. Many of these so-called innovations are just repackaged versions of the same old ingredients, sometimes with a single new molecule added to justify the patent. Take hyaluronic acid, once a revolutionary ingredient, now diluted and overprocessed in most drugstore products until it barely works. And while they're busy selling you the next miracle cream, they're ignoring what coastal communities have known for centuries, that the ocean provides everything skin truly needs. Even worse, the beauty industry has conditioned us to think natural solutions are not powerful enough. But consider this. Pharmaceutical companies are now racing to study marine algae because they've realized its compounds outperform synthetic alternatives. The very thing they dismissed as folk medicine is now being researched for its ability to heal burns, reduce inflammation, and even fight skin cancer. 2. The hidden cost of anti-aging is aging you faster. Retinoids, chemical peels, laser treatments, they all come with side effects. Redness, irritation, even thinning your skin over time. It's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. But what if nature already figured this out? What if the solution is not about stripping your skin, but nourishing it? We've been taught that aggressive treatments are the only way to reverse aging, but that's like sanding down wood to make it look new again. Eventually, you run out of material. Retinoids might give you short-term results, but long-term use can make skin thinner and more sensitive to sunlight. Chemical peels? They strip away your protective barrier, leaving you vulnerable to environmental damage. And do not even get me started on injectables, temporary fixes that require constant upkeep. The irony? While we're damaging our skin with harsh treatments, marine algae have spent millions of years evolving to protect themselves from the harshest conditions on Earth: intense UV exposure, saltwater corrosion, and pollution. Instead of fighting against our skin's natural processes, what if we worked with them? 3. The ocean's forgotten gift. Here's where hope comes in. Coastal communities have known for generations that certain types of algae can heal and rejuvenate skin. Not the slimy green stuff you're picturing. These are specific red and brown varieties packed with antioxidants, minerals, and peptides. Studies show some species boost collagen production better than synthetic alternatives. And the best part? No harsh side effects. These are not just any algae. Specific species like Ascophyllum nodosum, a brown algae, and Porphyra, a red algae used in nori, contain unique compounds that stimulate skin repair at a cellular level. For example, fucoxanthin, found in brown algae, has been shown to inhibit melanin production better than some prescription lightening creams, without the irritation. And polysaccharides in red algae create an invisible moisture barrier that locks in hydration far longer than synthetic humectants. The real kicker? These benefits are not just lab theory. In Korea and Japan, algae extracts have been used in high-end skincare for decades. It's only Western markets that have been slow to catch on because, again, you cannot patent seaweed. But that does not mean you cannot harness its power. 4. Why your beach walks could be the best skincare routine. Think about the last time you spent a day by the ocean. Your skin probably felt amazing afterward, not just from the salt water, but from microscopic algae particles in the air. Researchers in Brittany found that coastal algae extracts can hydrate skin 200% more effectively than hyaluronic acid. That's not a typo. 200%. Ever notice how fishermen's hands look surprisingly youthful despite constant sun and salt exposure? It's not genetics, it's the algae. When waves crash, they aerosolize micronized algae particles that settle on skin, delivering nutrients directly. Researchers in Ireland discovered that coastal dwellers have significantly higher levels of skin-protective antioxidants compared to inland populations, even when accounting for diet. And it's not just about hydration. Certain algae peptides act as natural Botox alternatives by relaxing facial tension lines. A 2021 study found that a topical algae extract reduced crow's feet by 23% in just 28 days, without injections or downtime. 5. The catch? Big Beauty will not touch this. Algae cannot be patented. It grows wildly and freely. That's why most companies ignore it or use cheap, processed versions in tiny amounts just so they can put seaweed on the label. But here's what they're missing. Fresh, minimally processed coastal algae contains living enzymes that lab-made versions cannot replicate. Here's the dirty secret. When big brands use algae, they often process it to death, freeze-drying, high-heat extraction, or isolating single compounds, which destroys the synergistic benefits. It's like eating an orange versus taking vitamin C pills. You lose the full spectrum of nutrients that make it effective. Worse, some companies add trace amounts just for marketing. That seaweed-infused serum? It might contain 0.1% algae extract, nowhere near the concentration needed for real results. Meanwhile, indigenous communities from Iceland to New Zealand have been using whole, fresh algae in poultices for generations with undeniable effects. 6. How to harness this yourself. This is the game changer. You do not need a $200 serum. In Section 8, I'll show you exactly how to make a DIY algae mask with ingredients from your local health store. But first, why this works so well. These algae adapt to extreme conditions: UV radiation, temperature swings, pollution. They've evolved survival mechanisms that, when applied to skin, transfer those protective benefits to you. The reason this works so well comes down to bioaccumulation. Algae absorb and concentrate minerals from seawater, magnesium, zinc, iodine, in ratios perfectly balanced for human skin. When you apply it topically, these minerals penetrate deeper than synthetic alternatives because your skin recognizes them as biologically compatible. And here's something fascinating. Algae adjust their protective compounds based on environmental stress. Specimens harvested after storms, when UV and oxidation stress are highest, show up to 300% more antioxidants. That's why wild-harvested, seasonal algae outperform lab-grown versions. 7. The science your dermatologist might not know. A 2023 study in the Journal of Marine Biotechnology found that a compound in certain brown algae, fucoidin, does not just reduce wrinkles, it actually reprograms aging skin cells to behave like younger ones. This is not science fiction. It's happening right now in labs from Norway to Japan. And the kicker? These algae are considered invasive species in some areas. We're literally throwing away gold. The fucoidin study was not a fluke. Norwegian researchers found that algae extracts can increase fibroblast activity, your collagen-producing cells, by 40%, compared to 15% from retinol. And unlike retinol, there's no peeling or sun sensitivity. Japanese scientists also discovered that certain red algae sugars can trick skin into thinking it's younger by resetting cellular communication. But perhaps the most groundbreaking finding? Algae compounds may help repair DNA damage from UV exposure. A 2022 trial showed a 17% reduction in precancerous skin cells after 12 weeks of topical algae application. That's not just cosmetic, it's potentially life-saving. 8. Your at-home algae rejuvenation ritual. Here's the simple truth. You can do this tonight. Mix 1 teaspoon of dried bladderwrack powder, find it online or at holistic stores, with 2 tablespoons of aloe vera gel and a few drops of rosehip oil. Apply for 15 minutes, then rinse. That's it. No fancy equipment, no waiting lists. Just you and the ocean's wisdom. For even deeper benefits, try this upgraded version. Steep dried algae in warm, not hot, green tea for 10 minutes before mixing with aloe. The catechins in tea boost algae's antioxidant effects. Or add a pinch of spirulina, another underestimated algae, for extra amino acids that plump fine lines. Timing matters too. Apply your algae mask in the morning when skin is most receptive to active compounds. The minerals will also create a natural barrier against daytime pollution. Rinse with cool water to seal in nutrients. Hot water degrades some of the delicate enzymes. 9. Why this changes everything. Imagine a skincare approach that does not drain your wallet or risk your skin's health. One that's sustainable, effective, and backed by both ancient wisdom and modern science. That's the power of overlooked coastal algae. And the more we demand real, natural solutions, the harder it becomes for companies to sell us overpriced placebos. This is not just about better skin, it's about reclaiming control. Every time you use algae instead of a $300 cream, you're voting against an industry that profits from insecurity. You're also supporting sustainable harvesting. Many coastal communities rely on seaweed gathering as ethical income. The ripple effects are real. In the Philippines, women's cooperatives are reviving traditional algae skincare methods, creating jobs while preserving marine ecosystems. Your choices can help these practices survive. 10. The movement starts with you. Next time you're at the beach, look down. Those unassuming strands of seaweed? They're nature's answer to radiant skin. Share this video with someone who's tired of the skincare hamster wheel. Let me know in the comments, have you ever tried algae-based skincare? Your experience could help others break free from the cycle too. Now go outside, take a deep breath of that salty air, and remember, sometimes the best solutions are the ones we've been walking past all along. Hit subscribe if you're ready for more truths the beauty industry does not want you to hear. See you in the next one.